We are here with Kings College football coach Jeff Knarr. Coach, thank you for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me.
We are opening the 2012 football season on Saturday with a 1 o'clock game at William Paterson College. Talk about what your training camp is like in preparation for the season.
It was a good camp. The kids worked hard. There's a lot of learning and development going on, and we saw a lot of the young talent emerge and chemistry come together through camp.
You have a lot of new faces on the team this year, so talk about the leadership that your upperclassmen have been invoking on the younger players.
They picked up where they left off in the spring, and that was to get all the new guys acclimated to the program and follow the line and understand this is how we do things and when we do things, and they did a great job doing that. And the freshmen came in eager to learn, eager to follow directions, and then they've responded to the positive leadership that our seniors and upperclassmen have brought to the camp.
You're opening up this weekend, first game of the season, so let's talk a little bit about the game. William Paterson is a familiar opponent. This will be the 4th straight year that we've played them. The last 2 seasons we lost very, very close games, 13-6 and 14-7. So this is going to be another hard-fought game. They have a lot of players back, 8 starters on offense, 9 starters on defense. So talk a little bit about that program.
Yeah, they're building it. I mean, coach has done a great job down there, and they are. I think they're excited about this year because of that. They, were a little bit younger last year. Some of these guys, were playing as sophomores that are seniors now. So, they have a veteran team on both sides of the ball, and I know they were hurt as the year went on with injuries that hurt their season. So, when I talk with coach, he has high expectations for William Paterson this year.
They return a lot of players on a very good defense that was ranked 3rd overall in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. But more specifically, their secondary was ranked 6th in the nation in pass defense. Talk about that unit.
Yeah, they're very athletic. I mean, they do a great job, defending the pass. They're quick. They react well to the ball. They have good technique. So it's a challenge, and that's a challenge that we have to respond better than we have the last 2 years. Is we have to throw the ball much better on Saturday than we have against these guys in the past to give ourselves a chance.
Now let's go to the Monarchs. We have a lot of new players in the lineup, a lot of young guys. Let's start with the offense. You had a 2-way battle for the quarterback spot between Bryant Klein, the incumbent, and Tyler Hartranft. Talk about those 2 players and their role in the game this weekend.
Both did a good job in camp. They both improved greatly from the spring and then got better as camp went on, and you saw a lot of good things from them. In our mind, they're varsity caliber quarterbacks, and they both earned the opportunity to play on Saturday. And they're going to play, and we're working out how they're going to play and how much, and when. But right now, both will play Saturday, and they both bring a little difference to the table. Bryant's very athletic, big, strong, one of our strongest kids, so he can do some things differently, than Tyler can. Tyler's has a pretty good understanding, with his cerebralness of the quarterback, throws things on time, is highly accurate. So they both, bring different intangibles to that position. We have, again, I think a lot of depth, and then the overall talent at our tailback position is the best that we've had, since we've been here. They have all of them have great vision. They can stick their foot in the ground and make that cut that's necessary from there. They're making all the right reads. They don't just get the ball and run. They get the ball and run with a purpose, and they find a seam, and they don't need a big seam to get there. So they make a young line even better. So we're thrilled with the way McGrath has developed and matured. He's everything we thought he would be, and he's healthy. And then Juden Goimbert, who's battled injuries for 2 years. He's healthy, and he had a great camp, and Deron Wilson is back at his natural position, as a tailback from a fullback, still learning both. And Pat Robinson is a promising freshman who's learning a little, tailback and might learn a little fullback, and even, Brendan Santana, a newcomer to the program as well, has everything you're looking for, in a varsity caliber tailback.
So talk about your receivers.
We like them. They have a lot of talent, a lot of potential, and it's just, we were a little bit of an older group, last year had some experienced guys coming back, so that was a position where we had some young talent, and they were able to develop and play in the JV games, and then work their way through as the season went on, and got chances to play late in the season. So they're unproven and untested, but there's a lot of ability there, and we've seen a lot of them step up and do well in camp, and we're excited for them to for a lot of them to make their debut and get their first extensive playing action on Saturday.
Again, a young offensive line here at Kings this season as well. Only 2 returning starters. So talk about that unit and their development throughout camp.
They developed well. It is very young, but it's starting to shape up with size. That we need to compete. In the conference and the people who we play with. So overall, as an offensive line, I think it's a better unit, than what we've had here, and we're still trying to build that depth from there. But the 8 or so guys that we think can play this Saturday, have done a really nice job in camp, and they're starting to understand the schemes, and we've run the ball the best we've had in our camp, in our inter-squad scrimmage, in our scrimmage with Muhlenberg, than we have the previous 2 years. But we'll 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores will probably making their first debuts on Saturday, but they have the size, the intelligence, and to be successful. We're just hoping we can get them over the nerves and get them out there and go. And then the 2 starters, Powers and Sant, are healthy, and then Kyle Grant played some last year, and we're expecting him to have a more important role.
Moving on to the defense now, we have a real good linebacking core, a couple good returning players, leading off with 4-year starters Ryan Cordingley and Ryan Kelly. Talk a little bit about them and what they mean to the team.
Yeah, they've been, they're the heart and soul. I mean, linebackers are the heart and soul of any defense, and then in our 3-4, they are definitely that. And then again, being the experience they have on the field has helped our younger guys, how to handle becoming a college football player, understanding the scheme and fitting right in. So they've been tremendous leaders, not only in the defense but within the whole team. And again, anytime you line up 2 linebackers that have as many games played as they do, that's a comforting and a great feeling.
The other 2 guys we have in the starting lineup are Jake Kezakevich, who's a junior, and sophomore Chad Curtis. Talk about those 2 guys.
Both of them are very athletic. They have very above average speed, we think, from there. Jake may be our most instinctive linebacker. He's battled injuries, and if he can just stay healthy, he has playmaking ability from the linebacker spot. And then Chad, last year he was our best guy off the edge as pressure from the quarterback, and then he had to improve on his pass coverage, and he's done that this year, and he's taken huge strides becoming a complete linebacker.
In the defensive backfield, we have 2 freshmen who are going to be starting at cornerback. Talk about those 2 guys, Tyler Cruz and Tyler Majasic.
Both of them are athletic. They have some swagger, that inner confidence that you need to play corner, that you're going to get beat, but they don't care. And they're going to line up, and then they're going to compete and battle the next play. And corner was what we needed in the way we want to play our defense. Corners are going to be on islands a little bit, and they have to have that inner swagger and that confidence to believe they can get it done. And we recruited really well, we think, at corner, and our 2 deep is 4 freshmen in there from there, and they probably all play.
In the safety positions, we have 2 gentlemen, Chris Matthews and Josh Fain. I'll talk about their contribution to the defense.
Chris Matthews is a highly intelligent young man, so he does a great job getting us lined up and with our checks and our coverages, and he's feeling out and learning the free safety position and doing really well at it. He was a safety in high school. He had to play outside linebacker for us last year, so he's like the quarterback there, getting everybody lined up, and he's done a phenomenal job with that. He's getting better with every practice from there. And then Josh Fainall is a kid that's going to hit you, physical, athletic kid. Was a tailback in high school, so he can run really well, and he's done a great job of improving his knowledge of our defense, so he's in the right places at the right times.
We'll talk a little bit about the special teams at Kings.
Yeah, we do. I mean, last year was the first year I've ever had a kicker who was also a punter. You always relied on a position guy. We're back to that point this year. Dan Kempa, who's a very athletic kid, one of our young wide receivers who got to play towards the end of the year, will play as one of our key receivers on Saturday. He's our punter, and he's done a good job, and we're working with him to just become consistent, and not have the bombing punt, and then the one that goes off the side of his foot, and he's working hard to be consistently solid as a punter.
Now I notice on the 2 deep that Dan Kempa is also listed as a kick returner. It's pretty rare to have a punter who is also a kick returner. Talk about him as an athlete.
Hey, I mean, he is. He can do it all, and that's what you saw in his high school film. Is that athlete just came across that you watched a film with him. I mean, he played quarterback for his high school. He ran it, he threw it, he kicked, he punted. They threw balls to him. I mean, he kind of did everything from there. So he's got tremendous hands. Might have the best hands on our team. He's a smooth runner. And he understands seams and the holes and knows how to hit the holes on the kick return from there. So we're looking forward to getting him the ball. And then the kickers, two new ones from there. Lance Williams and Kevin Mulvihill. They've done a really good job, and both of them have been pretty consistent from there. And Lance is slightly ahead from the PAT field goal standpoint. He's got a powerful leg and working on his timing. Kevin's a little more accurate and consistent, putting the kickoffs where we want. So,
well, Coach, big game on Saturday. What does your team have to do to be successful?
we have to play smarter. The last 2 years we've played them, we've given up a defensive touchdown that basically decided the game, and we've had miscues, early in the game on both sides of the ball. Last year we had a fumble, they recovered for a touchdown. I think their second defensive snap, they scored a touchdown on their offense. And then 2 years ago, it was like the third play of the game, their quarterback broke off a huge run, and they got in the end zone. So we got to be able to come out and play with confidence, put our nerves aside, and battle that initial storm, and then settle in, relax, and just play football.